Are you looking for cameras that are reliable, but they don't require you to have power over Ethernet or outlets where you want to put them, and you don't want to deal with any subscriptions? I think this is just the product for you. Check out the Reolink Home Hub with Argus Eco Ultra. This setup will allow you to have all of those things, no power over Ethernet needed, no outlets where you're going to put the camera, and no subscriptions. We hate subscriptions. Can't we get rid of them everywhere? This is the setup for you if that's what you're looking for. I'm going to start by getting these connected, and then I'll go over the features, and then I'll talk about mounting the cameras and show you these mounted, go over the real life usage so you can see what the image quality is like and how it looks in the app, and then I will let you know my final thoughts at the end, so stay tuned. Welcome back to Josh's Smart Home, where I've been building out my smart home now for about 10 years, and I want to share with you what I've learned along the way so that you can make your home smarter as well. Full disclosure, Reolink did provide everything that you're going to see today to me, but they didn't tell me what I had to say. They gave me no script or anything, so everything you're going to see is my fair and honest review. All right, let's get the Home Hub set up first. I did drop in just a couple of 4 GB SD cards that I had laying around the house here, put in the Ethernet cord and the power cord, so I'm going to put it in our network closet and get it hooked up. All right, I sat it in here, and if you saw this network closet before, you're going to be impressed because I actually did put a couple of a couple of wraps around the cords and bundled them together. So it is a little bit better than it usually is in here. Still not quite where I want it to be, but getting there. I put the Reolink here and I plugged it into the Ethernet port on the switch that I have in here, and then I'm going to plug it into the power. All right, I plugged it into the power. Let's go ahead and get it hooked up in the app. All we need to do is scan the QR code, and it's initializing the device, and we can go ahead and enter the password. I'm going to leave it Reolink Home Hub, and it's complete. You can go ahead and set up your encryption here, and immediately you can go into the Home Hub and you can see all the information. So let's get the cameras connected. All right, now it's time to connect the cameras. I already did charge the camera using the USB cable, and I found that to work really well with my Argus 4 Pro. Once I did that, had the solar panel out there, it's been good to go. So I'm doing the same thing here. What happens is once you connect it, it'll start making an announcement that it's ready to connect to your device, and you have to add it in the app. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I hit the plus button in the app, and I'm going to hit scan. And I followed through the prompts on the screen, and it was a pretty easy setup.
To the router succeeded. Welcome to Reolink.
And just like that, it's connected. I'm going to update the firmware, and I'm going to go ahead and get the other camera connected just the same way. Now that I set up the cameras, I want to go over some of the features of the setup with you. The Home Hub that I showed you does support 8 cameras. It's any Reolink camera except for the 4G, so you have a lot of options there. And there's a couple other battery-powered cameras in the Argus lineup. These are the Argus Eco Ultras, and these do have 4K day and night. And they do have the battery inside of them, so when the solar isn't active, when you don't have the sun out or can't, have them plugged in or whatever, then you can utilize that battery. The solar panel is a 6-watt solar panel, and that allows it to charge the battery sufficiently as long as you have it set up in an appropriate manner where it'll keep it going all the time. You don't have to worry about it. It is a subscription-free setup, which I've mentioned several times, but it's one of the most important things. Don't lock yourself into one of those stupid subscriptions that you never know what the price is going to be in the future, and you're really stuck with that, or else you end up, having useless hardware here, which doesn't really make any sense. So stick with these where it's no subscription at all. There is a 1-year storage in the Home Hub utilizing appropriate SD cards and the appropriate setup. I just threw a couple of small SD cards in mine, so I'm sure it's not 1 year on mine, but certainly, if you utilize, I believe it supports up to a 512 gigabyte. There's 2 slots, so it would be up to a terabyte essentially of storage space. That'll last you up to a year in appropriate situations. And the Home Hub does have an alarm, so you can have it set up as a security alarm setup with the activation based on the camera's detections. And mentioning the cameras, they are dual Wi-Fi, so 5 gigahertz or 2.4 gigahertz. One of the things I'm going to try is putting one of the cameras way far out and seeing if I can, utilize the 2.4 gigahertz, range aspect of that and connect to it that way. So let's go ahead and get to mounting the cameras and testing them. Here you can see where I put the first camera. It's out here by the road, so it might get a little bit of extra motion, which could, enable the battery to run out, and we'll see how that goes. But definitely the solar panel gets some good light right here. There's nothing blocking the view, and the camera can see the cars. So let me show you what some of the cars look like, and I'll run through some of those clips. So here you can see a car driving by, and you can see how clear it is and how you can stop it and see the information about a car. So if you knew a specific time you're looking for, you could certainly pull that up, and that would be easy to do here. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like between the camera that I usually use and the Reolink. So here you can see the information from the Reolink and the view that you get from that, as well as the regular camera that I use. I'm in the backyard now where I put the other camera, but you probably don't see it right away. It's back there. It's way back between the hills. I'll take you back there and I'll show you what it's like from back there and how that's connected without any wires any closer than what this camera is actually. This camera is closer to the camera than what the electrical is that we have run, and closer to the Wi-Fi access point as well. So let me take you there and I'll explain it. On the way by, we had to stop and say hi to the Argus 4 Pro, the cutest of the cameras. And if you haven't seen that video, make sure you check it out above. And here it is. We have it pretty far out here, probably 600 feet or so from the house. We have a Unify U7 outdoor access point that easily covers back to here. Probably covers, twice this distance for sure. No issue at all running the camera out here. You can see I just have it on a post out here, very far away from any electric or any other hookups that we have. And just sitting here, I need to, the wind got the solar panel and spun it around. I don't have it fastened too good here. Probably need to do something a little bit better here to get a better connection here, but you can see the wind, it's blowing pretty bad right now. With this battery backup though, it's not that important that we have the solar panel today. Once the wind dies down, I can move it around and make sure it's working properly. In the meantime, we get this great view, and you can see the clarity here. I'll show you a couple clips of the camera and how that works, and then I'll also bring it up with the app. And here I'm streaming on Wi-Fi all the way from the house, and it works great. Definitely can pick me up right away with the camera here, and it's quite a distance from the house, and there's, very little delay. So there you have a couple of examples of how I have them set up for our testing purposes here, and I'll go ahead and get to my final thoughts now. And you thought I was going to forget. I'm not going to forget two things. The first one is make sure you subscribe because you wouldn't want to miss this channel and the future videos I'm going to make. And the second one is every time I talk about Reolink, I try to remember to talk about the warm tips. And now it's time for my final thoughts. And I'm going to tell you who these are for and who they're not for. Who they are for is anybody that doesn't want to mess around with power over Ethernet or doesn't have an outlet near where they want to put a camera, but they can get Wi-Fi signal to that area. They can put a solar panel out there, use the battery backup of the camera, and have really good setup. These cameras are pretty amazing for what they are. I have to really hand it to Reolink. They came through on this one and provided a really good product. Who else is this for? It's definitely for anybody that has 8 cameras or less, looking at the home hub especially. Even if you don't want to get the battery cameras, if you wanted to do, power over Ethernet or just plug in cameras, that home hub, it's pretty convenient, super simple. And if you have eight or less cameras, I don't think you can get much simpler than this, and it doesn't have subscriptions. So definitely a great setup there. If you're looking for a setup that's larger than this, you might want to look at their NVRs. But if you're looking for a system up to those 8 cameras, the Home Hub is amazing. Great setup. Something else I need to mention is it does integrate with Home Assistant. So that pops up immediately in Home Assistant. I can go in and add it there. So there's another great feature that the Home Hub has. So to summarize, if you want power over Ethernet, you could still use this. If you want plug-in cameras, you could still use this. If you want the battery cameras with the solar panels, you can use this. 4G cameras, you can't use it with those. And if you need more than 8 cameras, it's not an option for you. So that's when you need to make those decisions of whether or not the home hub is right for you with the Argus Eco Ultra. If you enjoyed this video, I think you're going to like this video over here, so make sure you check it out.